Hello, welcome to Ramble, another INFJ ramble. Today I was going to make a video on attachment styles. Well, actually, no, I'm actually going to talk about the INFJ, I feel like shadow aspect of ourselves that we're not even aware of. And I think when you're not aware of something within yourself, it's really hard for you to understand yourself to some degree. So, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've been going through some pretty challenging things, but I made a breakthrough. Just been spending a lot of time on like forums and just kind of like writing about it and thinking about it, and yeah, I came to a breakthrough. So if you're an INFJ and you're wondering why it's like so hard for you to make real friends in real life, why you have a tendency to isolate, why you have a tendency to just kind of like I don't know, just feel like you don't belong anywhere. Like just kind of like you just don't really feel like you fit in. I feel like we can all relate to these things. I'm here to discuss my newfound knowledge. It's kind of like you already know this. I feel like INFJs can take like a central topic and it's hard for us to assimilate or like to express it in words, because this one topic will basically spider web out into different like areas that all correlate with each other. So for you to actually like get all the information from all the different webs on a particular matter, it's a lot. So it's really hard. So please be patient with me. Please be patient with me. Okay, let's start from like the top, and I don't want to like overthink this, but if we were thinking about an INFJ and how they relate to people, actually, how do you relate to yourself? I guess that's the real question. Do you know who you are? Do you know who you are outside of your people-pleasing tendencies? Do you know who you are outside of the codependent issues? Do you know who you are outside of the perfectionism and outside of like the self-sacrificial, self-sabotaging like methodologies that you apply in life? Do you know who you are? Because I can honestly say I don't. And I think this is a starting point. I think you can agree, like, we spent most of our lives, maybe still doing it, people pleasing, putting people's needs ahead of our own, sabotaging ourselves, self-sacrificing, not taking care of our own needs, externalizing love, care, service, help, respect to everyone else, but then completely neglecting ourselves. All of this makes me very anxious, and that's why I have this anxious, avoidant relationship style. And that's why we have a really hard time like letting people get close to us. In previous videos, I said we had trust issues. In previous videos, I might have said, we're perfectionists. We have perfectionistic tendencies. This is all tied into the anxiety, guys. The trust issues, the trying to forecast into the future and overplan. It all ties into anxiety. And if you kind of like trace that anxiety down to the root cause of it all, it basically boils down to fear. Fear of what? Fear of being abandoned, fear of rejection. And so because we are so afraid of being rejected or being abandoned, we go and we we try to please everyone else because we think that if we like give more and try more and try more and do more and do more, you know, we can secure people or friends in our lives. But it doesn't work this way. It's a self-sabotaging methodology, because what happens is, we all know it's an internal job. It's not external, right? I mean, I've noted that it's all an inside job. Like, you need to reconfigure your internal atmosphere before you see the change externally. It's hard. Not many people are like focusing on their internal, you know, their internal dialogue, their habits, their belief systems, you know, their trauma, what makes them react, what triggers, you know, like not many people really take the time or give themselves the time to really think about this. Like, what are my wants? What are my needs? What do I require? Do I have... And that's why we have poor boundaries, because we've been trying to externalize all the validation that we want outside of ourselves instead of like reconnecting with ourselves. You notice like INFJs have like empathic or HSP abilities, and I think we will agree, like we've gone through our whole life thinking that this is a curse, when in actuality it's a gift. But why have we adopted this? Why have we become so sensitive to energy and other people's emotions to the point where we absorb it and take it on as our own? Have you ever thought about that? Why do we do that? Questions. Just ask questions. Like for me, I'll start at like a baseline question, and then I'll just go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper until I finally get to the root cause. And I've come to the I can't talk. I've come to the conclusion that we have become empaths and HSPs as a coping mechanism, or we've taken that on in order to kind of get into other people's energetic fields so that we can understand what they need, so that we can like support that. But then in order to like establish relationships, in order to not be rejected, in order to feel like we belong, in order to gain someone's trust. But in doing these things, and I'm not saying it's bad, it's definitely a gift, you know, but how are you using the gift? You know, if you're like using it in an extreme way, then that can be very harmful. That can be very detrimental. And like for me, because I was able to get into other people's energetic fields, because I was able to like understand where they were at emotionally, I was taking it on as my own, and then I was suffering because of poor boundaries, because I was afraid. Do you see how all of this like just kind of like webs together? The lighting is so bad. I'm sorry. And then also, I had a massage. I don't know if you can see, like I have like weird like marks on my face. It just came from a massage. I don't even know why I have to explain this. Why am I explaining this? I don't know. But yeah. So once you realize like the spider web of everything, then you get to realize that, whoa, that's why I have perfectionistic tendencies. That's why I'm codependent. That's why I have anxious avoidant attachment in relationships. That's why I have a hard time trusting. That's why I isolate. That's why I am an empath and an HSP. This is why I need to forecast into the future all the time, because I have anxiety and I need to like control things to some degree, because when I can't control things, then I feel intense emotions that make me freak out. Control freak, that's what that means. Control freak means feeling intense emotions, and then that's out of your control, and then freaking out. That's what control freak is. It's not somebody who wants to micromanage. Yeah, on one end of the spectrum, that could mean that, but mostly it's having emotions that are out of your control and freaking out. I feel like you can relate to all of these things, right? So, knowing this and knowing how often I failed in making successful connections with people in real life. I'm not talking, dude, you can like connect with people on a screen. You can connect with people on a screen, but it's not the same as being with them, like being able to touch them and seeing them and feeling them. And, you know, yeah, a screen is a screen. You can just turn it off, you know? But yeah, just making like connections in real life, like really satisfying, tangible connections, you know. It starts with understanding why you are the way you are. And it starts with like taking off all the identities that you've identified yourself with. Like, oh, I'm a codependent, I'm a people pleaser, I'm a INFJ, I'm a perfectionist. Taking off all those hats and just looking at yourself. Like looking at yourself, like really seeing yourself. Who are you? I don't know. But that's the first step, right? Is realizing that you're someone who is worthy of your love and care and support and respect and connection and kindness. And you are also, you're not, if you're afraid of rejection or abandonment, it's because you've been rejecting and abandoning yourself your whole life. And also like having boundaries in place, like what people feel. It's good to like be able to feel just so that you can empathize and you can like, you know, understand like where they're at. But it's also really important to just recognize that that's not your responsibility to have to like elevate someone or to, I don't know. I'm still figuring this out. I feel like we all are, but I feel like I've made such a huge breakthrough, and I have my dismissive, avoidant friend to thank for this, honestly. If I hadn't encountered the dismissive avoidant, if I hadn't been put through like all the pain and all the immense pain, but I'm not mad. That's the thing, I'm not mad. It's just like I feel like I absolutely needed to feel that and experience that to make these breakthroughs. Because, you know, you get to a point where you're in so much pain and then you're so tired of feeling pain and you're just like, I don't want to feel this way anymore. So what do I need to do? Help me to understand. And then you take that journey towards, you know, higher understanding, and then you finally make breakthroughs and you see why things are the way they are, and then you can start the path and take the step towards returning back to yourself. I can honestly say, like, the fear of rejection and abandonment has, seriously, I can honestly say this just sitting here right now. The immense amount of fear that I used to feel, the immense amount of pain and dis-ease that I used to feel around rejection and being abandoned, I feel like I've cleared it just by pushing through. You know, I think a lot of people, like, I don't know about you, but I have very, very, very high pain threshold. I'm not even talking physical, I'm talking emotional. And I think that's the hardest thing. I think a lot of people can only handle so much pain and discomfort on a physical or emotional basis, and then they need to shut down because their bandwidth to like process this pain isn't very big. So they'll either shut down, distract, get heavily enmeshed in addictions that are probably not good for them in order to numb. For me, I have a really, really, really high pain threshold. So like when I feel pain, don't get me wrong, like sometimes I need a break and I'll sleep. I guess people refer to that as depression. Depression is deep rest session. When you're overloaded and overwhelmed with anything, you need to rest in order to decompress and in order to kind of like create more space and more energy for you to like keep on keeping on. So for me, though, like whenever I feel like an insurmountable amount of pain or discomfort, I have a tendency to just go straight into it. Like I want to understand, like, why am I feeling this pain and what is the remedy? I don't necessarily back down or repress. I definitely don't repress because it's always on the forefront of my mind. Like, okay, why is this situation presenting itself to me? Like, even with people, like, why, if there's like some kind of like, I don't know, disagreement, and like, okay, why did I encounter this person? Like a lot of questions. Why did I encounter this person? Why do I feel this way? Did I do something wrong? Is it them? Are they projecting? What am I supposed to learn from this? Yeah, just continuously chipping away at the issue at hand until I get to something that satiates. Does that make sense? Are you guys like this? Do you guys operate this way? And sometimes I get stuck in mental loops. Like I'll just continually, sorry if I can't speak, continually loop a particular subject over and over and over and over and over until like I'm exhausted. And then I have like moments where I just surrender. I'm like, okay, I'm really at my wit's end. I've been like trying to figure this out. I don't know what's going on. And then I surrender, and then I get a download. The download is like, whoa, that makes sense. Thank you, for helping me see things through a different lens than I've normally been viewing life through, What else am I going to try to say? I don't know if it made sense. Sorry. I don't know if it made sense, man. But anyways, whenever you're like trying, I've noted like anytime you're trying really hard to like understand something in order to like remedy the discomfort or the fear, whenever you get stuck in a mental loop, honestly, I feel like you're probably going to do it over and over and over and over and over and over till you get to a point of mental exhaustion, because that's what I do. I wish I could like catch myself in the beginning phase, but I feel like it's a process. There's just a lot to process, and we take a much longer time to process things than some other personality types, For me, it's just like I just want to make sure I touch on every single aspect of a particular thing before I like move on. I think that's why our processing style is just so slow. Like my friend, he can like just like push ideas out so fast, and I'm just like, I don't know how you do it. I need to like sit on this, I need to like really, really process and digest and ruminate, and yeah, I'll get stuck in mental loops and I'll keep looping until I get really tired. And then when I finally like get tired, I'll surrender. And then I'll just kind of be like, allow myself to just let it go. And then that's when I create space for the download to come in. I think that's why I space out most of the time too, honestly. Because when you're like in a mindless space within yourself, you create like an open channel for you to get downloads. And that's honestly when I get the most like tangible revelations, is when I'm spacing out. People think I'm some people think I'm slow or stupid. I don't know. I'm just trying to like tap in, guys. Tapping into like a higher power or whatever, God, whatever you want to call it. I'm just trying higher levels of consciousness. I'm trying to access that data and information, you know? I think that's why I spaced out. Oh, all of a sudden I got so tired. Anyways, I've been talking for 20 minutes and I absolutely don't know if I made sense, and I also don't know if you like are gonna take anything away from this recording. But if you've made it this far, I commend you. Because I know some people can't get through 20 minutes of a video, especially if of someone rambling. Yeah, if you learned something cool, if you didn't, cool. Blessings to one and all. Have a beautiful day. Amen.